Hi, my name is Nicoletta. I am a law graduate and a member of Lex Legal, an organization accredited by the YC to give immigration advice. So, today I'm going to speak about some immigration rules in this video because they are very important in our lives. I experienced this myself. In fact, I was born and raised in Moldova to the age of 10. Then at 10 years I moved to Italy via family permit to settle there with my parents, and lately I became their citizen and I decided to move to the United Kingdom to complete my studies. Now, if I wish to continue living in the United Kingdom, I will have to apply for the settlement scheme. In fact, as you know, all the European citizens living in the United Kingdom will have to apply for the settlement scheme before Brexit. The United Kingdom is supposed to leave the European Union on the 31st of October 2019. We still don't know whether there will be a deal or not. In case of a deal, the deadline will be 30th of July 2021. Without a deal, it's going to be the 31st of December 2020. So, this settlement scheme is a way of registration for European citizens. Based on your residency, you'll be given either the settled status or pre-settled. So, European citizens exercising their treaty rights in the United Kingdom for 5 years, and it has to be a period of continued residence of 5 years, most likely will get the settled status, where European citizens living for less time will get most likely the pre-settled status. Both settled and pre-settled status will give you the same rights as before Brexit. So the right to work, to study, to use the NHS, to travel and return back without problem to the United Kingdom, as well if you are entitled to a pension or to use some public funds. So, during the application, the authority will verify 3 basic things. First of all, it's your identity, then how long you reside in the United Kingdom, so your residency, and your criminal record. In terms of criminal record, I mean, like if they'll consider whether you are fit for the society, if you commit any serious crimes, or if continuous types of crime. Otherwise, you don't have to worry. And for your identity, it's enough your passport or your ID card. In terms of residency, you'll have, if you wish to get the settled status and you lived for 5 years in the United Kingdom, then you'll need to provide evidence for each year you lived in here. So, as mentioned, it has to be 5 years of continuous residence. This means that you have to live each 12 months, at least 6 months in the UK. As evidences, you can provide, of course, your national insurance number, maybe your employment contract, some bank statements, or tenancy agreement, pay slips. It depends on the circumstances and what type of proofs you actually have. So, your family members can also apply for settlement scheme if they are from the overseas. So what will happen after? Once, as mentioned, if you get the settled status, then after 12 months you can apply for British citizenship. So when you're applying, it will be considered whether you are in the United Kingdom for 5 continuous years. You can be absent maximum this period for 450 days. Also, you'll need to pass an English test. Usually it's a level B1. If you completed your studies in the United Kingdom, then you don't have to. And you'll have to pass as well a test called Life in the UK. The Life in the UK will verify whether you are familiar, you know the British traditions, culture, maybe, and history. You can find some manuals who will prepare you for the test, and it has all the important information. The process for applying for British citizenship, it costs £1,330. This part I'm going to speak about EEA family permit. Basically, overseas citizens who are family members of an European Union citizen living in the United Kingdom may join them by applying for an EEA family permit. It is a sort of entry clearance visa granted for 6 months, and in this period of time you can join or leave the country as many times as you like. So in both direct and extended family members may apply for family permit, but the conditions are different. In fact, it is easier for family members as partners or spouses or children less than 21 years old to apply, because they will just have to provide their type of relationship with the European citizen. They may need to provide their birth certificate in case of a spouse, for example, their marriage certificate. Also, for civil partners and spouses, they may need to provide evidences that their relationship is genuine. What does it mean? It means that you may need to provide, for example, pictures together, or if you want to a holiday together, then pictures from the holiday. Evidences that you maintain the contact with each other, so screenshot of messages or maybe phone calls that you give to each other. In case of extended family members and children over 21 years old, will have also to show that they are financially and economically dependent on you. Otherwise, because of psychological or health issues, they have a dependency as well. So they need your assistance. In this case, you will need actual proofs such as money transfer, letter or medical certificate stating at what point you need the assistance of your family member, and for example that there is no another person in your country who can take care of you. If he's not in the United Kingdom, then he must have the intention to travel to the UK within 6 months of the date of application. Once your family permit is granted, as mentioned, it is valid for 6 months, and within this period of time, if you wish to continue living in the United Kingdom with your family member, you will have to apply for the settlement scheme. It used to be a residence card for EEA family members, but now with Brexit, it changed to the settlement scheme, so you'll be granted the pre-settled status for 5 years. So, overseas family member living with a British citizen in another member state of the European Union can return to the United Kingdom together via European law immigration rules rather than UK immigration rules. This is easier because the process is easier to satisfy and you don't have a minimum income requirement. So, this process is called Surinder Singh route. The name derives from an Indian citizen who brought his deportation case to the ACJ and he set a precedent. So, briefly, the Surinder Singh route allows you to return both with your family member into the United Kingdom via the free movement rules. You and your partner will have to satisfy certain conditions. This means that you both have to live together in this member state. You must show that you really integrated there. So, for example, you can speak their language, or you know their tradition and culture, or you did some local community job. And you must have the intention to live together once you come back to the United Kingdom. Your British family member on his side must have exercised his treaty rights in this state, so he must be, for example, working, studying, be a self-employed person, or anyway financially independent. So that you didn't go to the member state just to avoid the UK immigration rules. So you need to provide enough evidences to show your residency and that you integrated there, and also your relationship with your partner. Again, it can be a birth certificate or a marriage certificate depending on circumstances. And both spouses, partners, civil partners, children and grandchildren less than 21 years old, in some circumstances, your grandparents may apply for the via the Surrender-Singh route. This was a brief summary about the Surrender-Singh route. In reality, it's a quite complicated process, and you need legal advice in order to apply.